Hey everybody, I'm B. Jamine, aka the Terrible Australian of Supermastery.com, and welcome to my video review of Jonathan Demme's new film, Ricky and the Flash. So let's get right into it. I have to say, I really like Jonathan Demme. I think he's a great director, and he's made a lot of really great films that I've seen. I haven't seen all of his films, like all of his narratives films or all of his documentaries. But from what I've seen of most of his work so far, I dig the guy's work. And of course, he directed one of my all-time favorite movies, The Silence of the Lambs. So pretty much anything this guy is going to make, I'm going to check out. So I was very interested to check out his latest film, Ricky and the Flash. And I thought, from seeing the trailers and all that, I thought, okay, this is sort of like, seems like a sort of a mainstream comedy starring Meryl Streep in a, as a rock star. And I thought, okay, for that, that would definitely has my attention. And of course, it was written by Diablo Cody, the Oscar-winning screenwriter of Juno. And I like her work as well. So I think sort of the combination of these three talents just made me really interested to check this out. And having seen the film now, it's definitely not exactly what I expected. Like, it is still a comedy, but there's also a lot of sort of dramatic elements to it as well. So it's definitely more of a dramedy, if you will. And it's actually pretty solid, and I think I wouldn't say it's one of Jonathan Demme's best films, or even Diablo Cody's best films, but they do both do a really good job with this film, and it's still a really entertaining and quite engaging film, and I mean, it's well directed by Jonathan Demme, and you can definitely tell I can definitely tell watching this film, because he's a guy who loves making films about music, so the music aspect of this film definitely I could see from watching the film definitely appealed to him, because all the music, the rock and roll scenes are all pretty well done, and it's also quite well written as well. It's definitely not, I wouldn't say the script is on the level of, say, Juno or even Young Adult, but it's still a pretty solid script by Diablo Cody, and it also and she knows how to sort of create very believable family dynamics in her films. And of course, for those wondering out there, no, she doesn't resort to her very stylistic dialogue that people either love or hate. So if you didn't like it in Juno or anything else, be thankful it's not. I can definitely say for certain none of that is in this film. So at least not that I noticed anyway, but for most part, I think it's, like I said, it's a pretty solid film. And of course, it's sort of anchored by, of course, Meryl Streep, who's just always great. I love Meryl, and she gives another really good performance in this one. And of course, since she can belt out a tune, like, she handles all the rock and roll scenes as well. And I think she definitely brings a lot of energy to the film, and she's just great. Like, she's always captivating when she's on screen, whether it's a drama or a comedy. She's just always great, and she is once again in this film. And also the supporting cast, which include Kevin Kline, Mamie, I think that's right. Oh, sorry, Mamie Gamer. She's who happens to be Meryl Streep's daughter. Audra, McDonald, Sebastian, and surprisingly, Australian singer Bruce Springsteen are all really good in their roles as well. Particularly Rick Springfield, who really surprised me the most with his role and his kind of on-screen love interest with Meryl Streep. And like, I know he's been acting for years in the US, particularly on soaps and that. So I haven't really seen him in like his acting talent in the soap opera world or anything like that. So I didn't know what to expect of him from an actor, but I thought he did a really good job with this film. He was definitely one of my favorite of the supporting cast. And of course, it was great to see Kevin Kline again in a film. It's been quite a while since I'd seen him, and he always brings his A game with his performances, and he's really good as well. And Mamie Gummer was wonderful as well, and Audrey McDonald, I really liked her performance a lot, and she brought a dramatic heft to the film with her role, and Sebastian stands solid as well. The music's it's just a really good film that has just really wonderful performances from everyone. In terms of criticisms, I think the first hour is definitely, the film only goes for probably about 100 minutes, and I'd say the first 60 minutes or so is definitely some of the strongest aspects of the film. But I feel like the the last 40 are kind of the weakest. It's not to say that it's bad or anything. It just felt to me like they were kind of just meandering a bit with the plot until they got to the final thrust of the story at the end, and it's kind of mostly dealt with sort of Meryl Streep and Rick Springfield's relationship in that third act, and like it's fine, like it's still solid, and I think Meryl and Rick kind of brought a lot to that section to make it very engaging to me, like especially with the relationship between those two characters. But I think in terms of kind of plot, it kind of just, other than that, I mean, their relationship stuff, it just doesn't really have much in that second half. It almost feels like it's, like I said before, kind of just feels a bit aimless until, you know, they get back, till they get to the ending. And it almost seems like they kind of ran out of plot for the first 60 minutes and sort of just went kind of stretch things out a little bit just so it can be a 100-minute film. So, but you know, that's just me though. So it did, like I said, that third act did feel a bit sluggish. But overall though, like Ricky and the Flash is a pretty solid film. Like I really enjoyed it a lot, and it's definitely one I would see. I wouldn't say it's one that you need to see in the cinema, but it's definitely one that I think you can, you know, sit at home on and enjoy with, you know, with family or friends and all that. And I think it's a movie that'll has a lot of, some pretty good laughs and might even move you as well. So, yeah, so overall, Ricky and the Flash, really good film that I would definitely recommend to check out. So, if I have to give the film a rating, I'd give it about 3.5 stars. So, yep, that's the end of my video review of Ricky and the Flash. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later. See you, everyone.